All right, guys, you've asked for it. I'm going to deliver the episode for you. A lot of you are wondering how the new Engl Special Edition amplifier compares to both the Savege Mark II and the Stealth. So we're going to go ahead and do that comparison today. Let's get started. Well, hey guys, thanks for joining me for today's episode. I really appreciate it. And this is actually the second time I'm shooting this episode. So what happened was the first episode I shot, I was like, why does everything sound like really different and just not as good as it should? And I somehow muted my SM57 mic that I have on my cab here behind me on the Mesa cab that's paired with the Royer 121, and all I got was the Royer tones, and that is a good mic, but the way I have the mics set up and placed on the cab, I need to get that top end and then the low mids and the low end as well, and all I was getting was low mids and low end, and I'm like, everything just sounds kind of strange. So I have to shoot this episode all over again, and I'm kind of glad that it happened though, because I'm going to do it differently this time because there's things I would have done different. So I'm going to shoot it in a way where this is how I would pick between these amplifiers. So I have them all set up in their optimal settings as far as I'm concerned. I mean, I'm just still getting to know the special edition, but I think I have it set up really well. I get it set up really brutal sounding. So what I'm going to do is shoot out the clean channels between all three amplifiers along with the crunch channels. And then I'm going to shoot out the most brutal channels between all three amplifiers as well. And in my opinion, the most brutal channel on the special edition is the channel 4. I just feel like it's a little thicker and a little gainier for me. And I'm going to pick that one to fight against channel 4 on the Engl Savege Mark II and the famous red channel on the EVH Stealth. And I'm going to try to see if I can get, after that shootout, the Engl Special Edition to be as brutal as the Stealth Red channel. So we're going to do that as a bonus round at the end. Oh, and by the way, I will be using an overdrive on all three amplifiers during the shootouts on any of the high gain channels, including the crunch channels. And the overdrive I'm using is the Odd Box from More Audio, and it's in UK mode. And these are the settings. I have the tone at like 2 o'clock, the drive all the way down, and the volume all the way up. And again, it's in UK mode. I always use a boost pedal, so I would have that engaged no matter what when I'm shooting amps out. I don't care how tight they are or loose they are without a boost pedal. I'm going to use one regardless, so I'm going to shoot these out as if I'm trying to pick the best amp that works for me while I'm at a store or something like that. So I hope you guys enjoy the little journey I'm going to take you on here. And yeah, so let's go ahead and start with the clean channels now. By the way, pay attention to the screen right here. Whatever amp that I'm playing, you will see appear there. If I'm going to be playing the special edition, this is what you'll see. And this way you can see the settings that I have on it as well. All right, so now let's turn on some effects. The Julia Chorus, which by the way, if you don't have a Julia Chorus for your cleans, you're freaking nuts. It's a great pedal. And the Flashback 2 delay. So let's see how they compare with some effects. I mean, I use effects with my cleans anyways. I think most of us do. Why would you want a dry clean channel? So let's see how they compare now. Okay, so as far as I'm concerned, all three of these channels are amazing. You could use any one of them in a mix or live or whatever. I think all three clean channels are really good. They're chimey, they're bright, they're warm. I think the special edition compared to the Savage Mark II clean was a little warmer and a little fuller, but that depends on your taste, which one you're going to prefer, but that's just something that I noticed and I wanted to speak on. But surprisingly, the Stealth clean channel stood up to these really well, and EVH amps aren't known to have amazing clean channels, but in the Stealth, that clean channel is actually really good. So all three fared very well here. So now let's move on to the crunch channels of all three of these amplifiers. And the crunch channel on the Stealth is the blue channel. Just so you know, that's what I'm using. All right, so between the three, I felt that the Savage Channel 2 and the blue channel on the Stealth sounded, more similar to each other, and the standout regarding, difference of sound is going to be the special edition. Had a little more of a forward sound, a little more top end, and I have these dialed in as good as I can get them as well. So I'm not trying to darken up the Stealth and the Savage voicing to highlight, the special edition or anything like that. God, it's hard to keep all these names straight. So if I'm stuttering, that's why. Holy shit. Anyways, so I feel like there's more aggression in the Stealth. I feel like it's just grainier on the top end, where the special edition is, like I said, it's a little more forward, but a little softer on the top end. But it has this this kind of hump in the EQ that kind of pushes it forward a little bit. Sounds a little less congested than the other two in this channel. Now, depending on what you like, I mean, you're going to prefer one of these over the other, but I'm just pointing out what I'm hearing here. I'm not picking any winners. They all felt great to play, and I think they all sound really good. So let's move on to the high gain channels of these amplifiers now. So I'm going to go to channel 4, which is lead 2 on the special edition, and then I'm going to go to channel 4 on the Savage, and channel 3, which is the red channel on the EVH Stealth. All right, that's a good single note test. Let's do some chords. Wow, man, all three of these are sounding and feeling amazing. There's definitely some slight differences between them. I think with the special edition, it's a different type of top end. You're not getting as much of that graininess that the Stealth has, but it still sounds really good. It's a teeny bit smoother, but I think it's very brutal sounding. I mean, it's just nasty. So it's just a little bit rounder, not as grainy, and I'm trying to think of the right word. And this isn't a derogatory word about the Stealth, but it's less staticky on the top end, if that makes sense. I'm trying to find the vernacular to describe what I'm experiencing with the top end of the Stealth compared to the special edition, but the Stealth just has a little bit more of a snap, a snarl, a little bit of a staticky, aggressive top end to it, where the Engls, both of them, are a little bit rounder, especially the special edition. The special edition is definitely a little bit more rounder, and it's just a little more, it's a little less staticky, I guess. I wish there was a better way I could describe this, but you guys are most likely hearing it. Make the best judgment for yourself on which one you prefer. It's all subjective. I'm just pointing out what I'm hearing. I'm not picking any winners here, but I think all three of these are sounding amazing. I would have a really hard time picking between them, to be honest with you. I really would. So now let's do the bonus round. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take the special edition channel 4 and put it up against the EVH Stealth red channel, and I'm going to try to get the special edition as brutal as I can get it. Maybe I could get a little more bite out of the top end with this thing. So let's switch cameras here. I'm turning off the Stealth. Let's switch cameras and dial in the special edition, and I'm going to try to get maybe a little more spike out of the top end or whatever. So just bear with me for a minute. I'm going to play some crappy tire kicking riffs that I use and get the most I can out of this amplifier in channel 4. Okay, so go back to the camera. I turned off the contour, which kind of smooths out the top end a little bit. And by turning that off, I think the top end kind of came through a little bit more. And I left the mid-edge on. And when I turned the mid-edge off, I was like, I think it needs that edge. That's what I'm looking for. And the contour kind of smooths things out. So by taking the contour off, I think I gave this thing a little more bite and a little more attack. So now let's compare them and see how they sound. Also, I attenuated the volume. So when you turn the contour off, it tends to shift the volume of the amplifier down a little bit, so I had to attenuate for that. So now let's see how they compare. All right, so with the adjustments that I made on the special edition, it definitely gave it more bite, and it actually brought it even more forward in the mix, which was kind of surprising to me, but I think it's that mid-edge that really does that for it. So I feel like the special edition got a little bit more aggressive, but it had this really nice clarity on the top end and less static like the Stealth has. And I'm not saying static as a derogatory term when it comes to the top end of the Stealth. I mean, the Stealth has a lot of aggression, a lot of attack. There's that snap to the top end and that really nice pick attack to it, and it's really, really nice. But I think that that little bit of static that comes with it is just necessary to make all of those characteristics happen. So it really depends on what you want out of your amplifier. Are you willing to give up a little bit of that bite in the top end of your amp so that you can have a little more clarity, but still get a lot of aggression out of an amplifier like the Special Edition? So it really comes down to what your preferences are. I think all three of these amplifiers are amazing. I really can't say enough good things about the Special Edition. They did such a great job with this amp. I mean, it just sounds incredible, and it's brutal as hell. It has a lot of great features in it and a lot of great tone shaping options, and you can really dial in your own signature custom sound on this amplifier. I mean, don't get me wrong, I still think the Stealth is ridiculous and I still love my Savage, but I'm really impressed with this Special Edition right now. I mean, it's just such a great amplifier. And if you haven't had a chance to check one out yet, I mean, I suggest that you do. So I really appreciate you guys making the suggestion to do the shootout for you guys, and I'm happy to do it for you. So if you like what I do here, I appreciate it if you would subscribe and click the bell so that you can be notified every time I come out with new episode or go live. And if you want to support my channel, there's links below to my website so you can get some awesome profiles and presets for Tonex, Quad Cortex, and the KEMPER. I do a lot of high gain and clean profiles for all of those units, and get something for yourself today. I'm telling you, you're going to love those profiles and presets. They sound amazing. And you can also get my new album, Mixology, from my website as well. Well, to all my Patreon supporters and subscribers, I really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. And like I said before, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. And if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. It really helps me in the algorithm. Well, I got a lot more stuff coming up for you guys, and I'll see you on the next one.